Sometimes art or creation can be really therapeutic, or on the other hand, sometimes you just want to smack something.
I started this pottery business about 5 years ago. I have just always loved working with clay. From the very first time I touched clay as a child, I loved it.
But for many of us, that's where we stop. We keep that stuff in the hobby zone. But there are times when something happens that takes that hobby to the next level.
It really became sort of a healing, cathartic kind of thing about 5 years ago. I went through a bunch of changes in my life and just kind of came back into clay almost by accident. It just resets me. Getting behind the wheel and touching the clay really just does help to center me. It helps to focus my heart and my mind, and I enjoy doing it so very much.
The reignition of her passion led to the next step, a business.
I happened on an art fair in Effingham and started selling, and I really was kind of surprised by the joy that I got out of someone else taking my cup home with them and telling me later that they love to drink their coffee out of it in the morning.
Now, as with all artists, every piece she makes is one of a kind. So owning one of her pieces makes it unique and special to the person who bought it.
I get a lot of feedback that people really just, they feel like it's a special work of art and they like that they use it and it's their, I make a lot of mugs, so I get a lot of feedback from people that this is their mug, and and when it's dirty in the dishwasher, the day's not as good as when they have their mug.
Molly's work is dishwasher safe, which is kind of cool, but that's just about the only similarity you're going to find between her work and store-bought and mass-produced stuff.
This is a custom piece for a farmer.
You're not going to find any custom pieces like this in any big box store. Besides, she couldn't keep up with that kind of production demand. Handmade work takes time.
About a month. Part of that month-long process is making enough work to fill up the kiln because you can't just fire one cup. So I work in, I make like almost a little assembly line for myself. I'll throw a whole bunch of cups and then I'll make a whole bunch of handles and I'll attach them all and I'll sit down and I'll paint. So yeah, for a batch, it's about a month.
In the era of COVID, a lot of artists have had to make adjustments to the business to survive. Now, fortunately, most are surviving. But for us, especially around Christmas, we have a perfect opportunity to keep these artists busy.
And when you're supporting an artist, oftentimes you're supporting a family. And makers, we're not just the people that make the thing. We market the thing, we build the website, we write the descriptions for the piece, we package them. So we're this whole operation, one woman show.
Supporting this local artist starts with finding her on Facebook at 2 Mile Creek Pottery. And just go from there.
I do a lot of custom work. People will ask me, can you make this or that? And the answer is, I don't think the answer has ever been no. And I really enjoy that challenge of like, oh, I've never thought of making that thing that you want, but I will absolutely try it. So it's a fun way for me to kind of learn new forms.
In Sullivan, this is Steve Nichols, WAND.